This is from a local paper. I'm not going to say where, but this is from our local paper, and I just wanted to talk about this. This kind of sums up everything that's wrong with our culture right here. The first article is, check this out, woman accused of threatening officer. Watch this. A 27-year-old homeless woman accused of littering is facing a felony charge after threatening an officer, police said. Officers responded to the 1100 block of Turkey Creek around 9:40 p.m. Friday regarding a disturbance and found Terry Lydia Downing walking toward Finfeather Road. While speaking with police, Downing threw down a cigarette she had been smoking and was charged with littering. Can you imagine? Anything, and this is, the downtown in my town has been gentrified. They kicked all the homeless people out, and this is what we do to the homeless people where I'm from. We arrest them for smoking, for littering, because they threw a cigarette butt down. I mean, can you imagine that? And then she began kicking and yelling while en route to the jail, according to the report. I'm going to try to stab you in the free world, she reportedly yelled at the officer. I'm going to stab you, expletive. Once you get to your house, I'm going to stab you. Upon arriving at the jail, officers found 2 glass pipes in Downing's bra, according to the report. She was charged with obstruction or retaliation, a third-degree felony punishable up to 10 years in prison, as well as littering and possession of drug paraphernalia, both Class C misdemeanors. Downing remained in the jail, blah, 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 on $24,535 bail. Now, meanwhile, across town, we got a 9-year-old girl, okay. This is what they were charged with. Check it out. Her punishment for acting up in school was to be held down in a tub of water, police said. Her mother, father, grandfather, and grandmother's roommate were arrested Friday and charged with abandoning or endangering a child in connection with an incident in early December. According to the police report, the girl told investigators her grandmother, blah, 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 called to tell her there were consequences for being bad in school, and yelled at the girl to get in a bathtub that was half filled with water. Okay? 33-year-old... Once her parents, 33-year-old blah, 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 and blah, blah, brought her to the home of the grandmother. She described it like a baptism, during which she would be asked a question and subsequently dipped and held under water by her grandmother, father, and grandmother's roommate, a bunch of times, if her grandmother did not like the answer. At one point, the grandmother asked the girl what she was going to do when she went back to school, but did not believe the girl when she said she would behave, so she was submerged again. They used a belt and withheld items from the daughter. Had not been working, so since his daughter had a fear of water, the dipping was used as a last resort. And guess what? If you do this kind of thing, abandoning or endangering a child, it's up to 2 years in jail. Woo! It's a felony, up to 2 years in jail. And check out the bail on these people, $5,000. Meanwhile, the homeless lady got a bail of almost $25,000. So what do we learn from this? Do whatever you want to your child. You can torture them, because this is a little bit different. I don't have any problem with people spanking their kids or that kind of thing, but dipping your child in water because they have a fear of water, what is this, the medieval times? Okay, anyways, you do that to a child, maybe 2 years, $5,000 bail, no big deal. Disrespect a freaking cop, okay, and throw a cigarette butt down in front of them, and what are you getting? $25,000 worth of bail. They're going to take you to jail. They're going to search you. And all this started, and it doesn't even tell in here, what was she doing? What was the disturbance? Was the disturbance this woman walking down the street? So they stop her, harass her. They find out probably right away she's homeless, and then they get any excuse they can find to arrest this person. Of course they do, which, well, hey, a cigarette butt. Might as well arrest her. And let's stick her in jail forever, because her crime of threatening the police got threatened. Even though they're big men with guns and sticks and tasers and freaking everything else, they're afraid of this homeless woman who was arrested for throwing a cigarette butt down on the ground. How many people do you know that have been arrested for that? 0. Because that was a made-up, trumped-up bullshit charge just to have an excuse to get this person off the streets of our wonderful city. Isn't that neat? So remember, guys, if you want to commit a crime, torture your children. If you want to go to jail for a long time, threaten a cop. Or if you just want to get arrested, throw down a cigarette butt in front of one. That'll work, especially if you're homeless. I bet they wouldn't have done that to somebody that wasn't homeless now, would they? Or all these assholes I see driving down the road that flick their cigarette butts out the freaking car window. They're fine. Now, Just don't be homeless and smoke and throw a cigarette butt down in front of them, because next thing you know, you're getting dragged to jail, especially if you get upset about something total bullshit like that. That's why she got mad. They're arresting her for throwing down a freaking cigarette butt. As cars drive by belching smoke out of their exhaust, and as, you know, I mean, I'm not even going to go into all that, but I mean, it's just, this is it. The only thing in our culture that we worship anymore are freaking cops. Cop worship. Meanwhile, torture your kid, 2 years, $5,000 bail. No big deal. It's a 9-year-old. Shit, they're tough. Woman over here, cigarette butt, she's going to jail, $25,000 bail. She's not getting out. She ain't got no home. And she got arrested for what? A freaking cigarette butt. And yet, people wonder about why people don't seem to look at cops in a favorable light. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, so there you go. That's what's wrong with this whole freaking culture of ours. Cops, weird parents torture kids, homeless people need to be rounded up and shipped away into camps. Everything's cool. And this is just another day in Texas. Have a good one. Bye.